Not everyone who dislikes you is just harboring resentment. Some have far darker intentions. The real danger doesn't come from those who openly express their hatred, but from those who hide it behind a mask of friendliness. These people don't just want you to fail. In extreme cases, they want you gone for good. You might think this sounds like paranoia, but the truth is that real threats often go unnoticed. The most alarming part? The warning signs are usually subtle, disguised as harmless behavior, until the damage is already done. In this video, we'll uncover 5 crucial signals that someone may be more than just an enemy. They could be a serious threat to your safety. Most people miss these red flags until it's too late. By staying informed, you can recognize these dangers early and take the necessary steps to protect yourself. Number 1. The quiet betrayal. True threats rarely announce themselves. The most dangerous enemies aren't the ones who confront you head-on, but the ones who work in the shadows, weaving deception into your daily life. By the time their actions become clear, the damage is often irreversible. Ethan thought his workplace struggles were just routine challenges, occasional conflicts, minor misunderstandings. But then, things started shifting. His manager, once supportive, seemed indifferent. Colleagues who once valued his insights kept their distance. Invitations stopped coming, and the air around him felt colder. It didn't happen overnight. No grand accusations, no major confrontations, just small, strategic distortions. A word twisted here, a comment misrepresented there. At first he questioned himself. Had he said something wrong? Had he been careless? But the truth revealed itself. Someone was quietly turning others against him, not through direct attacks, but by feeding doubt. This is the art of silent sabotage. It doesn't strike like a weapon. It seeps in like a slow, corrosive force. The people behind it don't act alone. They plant seeds of uncertainty and let others spread them. They don't need to lie outright. A carefully placed suggestion, a vague remark, is enough to alter perception. And by the time you recognize what's happening, your relationships, reputation, and opportunities may already be shattered. Philosophers throughout history have warned about such manipulation. Marcus Aurelius observed that public perception is unreliable, writing, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after." Those who chase approval will always be vulnerable, but those who ground themselves in reason cannot be easily swayed by deception. Many assume betrayal is obvious, but those who understand human nature know that the most effective forms of harm are the ones that go unnoticed. Manipulation doesn't always come in the form of open hostility. Often, it's a whisper, a glance, a well-placed omission. How do you protect yourself? First, separate your character from your reputation. The former is yours to control. The latter is in the hands of others. Epictetus advised, "If someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against their accusations. Instead, live so that no one will believe them." Your actions will always speak louder than rumors. Second, observe the patterns. Don't let fear cloud your judgment, but don't ignore consistent warning signs. If misunderstandings and friction always seem to trace back to a particular person, take note. If trust is deteriorating without clear cause, look deeper. The wise don't make reckless accusations, but they also don't overlook deception. Lastly, strengthen your alliances. Isolation makes you an easy target. True security comes from surrounding yourself with people who value truth over gossip. Those who stand by you based on who you are, not on what others say. Seneca wisely stated, Surround yourself with those who elevate you, and whom you, in turn, can elevate. The right people will see through manipulation. Betrayal is rarely loud. It operates in the quiet, in the unnoticed moments. But it only succeeds when you hand over your power to the judgments of others. Keep your focus, hold your ground, and never let hidden enemies dictate your path. Number 2, the silent watcher. There are people who exist on the edges of your life, not directly engaging with you, yet always present. They don't strike up conversations or make themselves known, but over time, you begin to realize they appear more often than they should. You see them at your usual spots, overhearing conversations they were never invited to. They seem to know small details about your life, things you never told them. What first seems like chance begins to feel deliberate. This is no random occurrence. Their presence isn't an accident. It's intentional. They are paying attention in ways you don't immediately recognize, mapping your habits, your routines, and the times when you're most alone. Unlike an open threat, they don't make their motives obvious. They remain in the background, learning how you move through the world, taking in details about your daily life. And because they don't act aggressively, they remain unnoticed, hiding behind the illusion of coincidence. The real danger isn't just that they're watching, it's that they are learning. People like this don't gather information out of casual curiosity. They observe to gain control, to understand how best to approach, manipulate, or even harm you. And because their tactics are so subtle, most people dismiss the early warning signs. They assume they're imagining things, that they're being paranoid. But when someone keeps appearing without a reason, when they seem to know things you haven't told them, it's no longer just a feeling. It's a pattern. Recognizing this behavior early is key to protecting yourself. The first step is breaking predictable routines. If you take the same path every day, switch it up. If you frequent the same places at the same time, alter your schedule. Be mindful of what you share online. Many people unknowingly provide their own trackers with real-time updates on their whereabouts. Most importantly, trust your instincts. If someone's presence makes you uncomfortable, if their interest in your life seems unnatural, don't dismiss it. Distance yourself when necessary, and if their behavior persists, take steps to secure your safety. The most dangerous threats don't always announce themselves with hostility. Sometimes they arrive quietly, slipping into the background, until you realize they were never meant to stay there. Number 3, the false friend facade. Someone in your life has suddenly become incredibly friendly, almost too friendly. Not long ago, they barely noticed you, but now they're eager to learn everything about you. At first, it seems flattering. Maybe they're just opening up, right? But beneath the surface, this isn't kindness. It's calculation. This isn't about forming a genuine connection. It's about access. The most deceptive individuals don't push their way in forcefully. They make you invite them in. They present themselves as the perfect friend, the one who understands you better than anyone, who listens when no one else does. They're always there, offering a shoulder to lean on, a voice of reason when things go wrong. And with every conversation, every confession, they gain something far more valuable than friendship: control. What makes this truly dangerous is the way they extract information. It doesn't come all at once. Instead, it's a slow process, built over time. They ask simple questions. How's work? What time do you usually get home? Who do you trust the most? Harmless on the surface. But when you step back, you realize they've been gathering details that paint a complete picture of your life. Think about that one person who's recently taken an unusual interest in your habits, your fears, your routine. They don't just want to know you. They want to study you. They're tracking when you're most vulnerable, how you react under stress, and who you rely on in times of trouble. The worst part? Their concern feels so genuine that you don't even question their motives. This is more than manipulation. It's strategic positioning. Every personal detail you share becomes a tool they can use. They're not simply earning your trust. They're identifying weaknesses. Whether it's learning the layout of your home, discovering who holds influence over you, or gaining access to places they shouldn't be, their goal is never just friendship. It's leverage. And by the time you realize what's happening, it's often too late. They're already in the perfect position, and when they choose to act, they won't have to force their way in. You'll have given them everything they need willingly. Number 4. The smiling enemy. Some of the most damaging people in your life aren't the ones who openly oppose you. Instead, they operate in the background, disguising themselves as friends while carefully dismantling your reputation, relationships, and sense of trust. Unlike someone who simply watches from the shadows, this type of person takes action, but always in a way that leaves no clear fingerprints. To your face, they're warm, supportive, and seemingly on your side. But the moment you step away, they begin reshaping how others see you. Their tactics aren't loud or obvious. They don't attack directly or make outright accusations. Instead, they work subtly, distorting reality just enough to make others doubt you. They'll twist your words, misrepresent your intentions, and plant carefully crafted suggestions that cause people to question your character. Their whispers are designed to spread uncertainty, never saying anything outright harmful, just enough to make others wonder, is there some truth to this? The real danger is that this sabotage is gradual. At first, nothing seems amiss. But slowly, you begin to notice that people who once trusted you now seem distant. Friends hesitate before speaking to you. Colleagues stop including you in conversations. Invitations that used to come easily suddenly dry up. And when you try to understand what changed, the answer remains elusive, because the damage was done over time, bit by bit, without ever being traced back to its true source. By the time you recognize what's happening, the saboteur has positioned themselves as the voice of reason, the one others now trust, while you're left struggling to repair relationships you didn't even realize were under attack. Their greatest weapon is not what they say directly, but what they imply. They present themselves as neutral observers, never outright taking responsibility for the rift they've created. If confronted, they'll feign innocence, acting as though they were simply passing along information out of concern. But make no mistake, every interaction is carefully crafted to work against you while maintaining their own image as an ally. To defend yourself, you must be aware of the subtle shifts in how people treat you. Pay attention to those who always seem to be around when misunderstandings arise, yet never take responsibility for stirring the pot. Be mindful of what you share, and trust your instincts if someone's interest in your life feels more like quiet manipulation than genuine care. Most importantly, don't allow them to control the narrative. Strengthen your connections with those who know you well enough not to be swayed by vague insinuations. Stay grounded in your own truth, and don't let paranoia take hold, because fear is exactly what they want. The best defense against this kind of sabotage isn't retaliation. It's clarity, awareness, and refusing to give them the power they seek. Number 5. The long game manipulator. Some people manipulate not through aggression or deception, but through careful and deliberate planning. They don't rush, they don't force their way in, and they never act impulsively. Instead, they construct a slow-moving strategy that unfolds over time, positioning themselves exactly where they need to be. Unlike those who openly manipulate, This type of person remains patient, waiting for the right moment to act. Every interaction, every favor, every seemingly innocent question serves a purpose, placing them one step closer to their goal. At first, their presence seems harmless, even helpful. They ask about your future, your plans, and your struggles, not in an obvious way, but with a quiet curiosity that makes them seem genuinely interested. They offer small favors, acts of generosity that make them appear supportive, like someone you can trust. But these aren't random gestures. They are calculated steps designed to make you feel comfortable relying on them. Over time, their influence becomes stronger, though you rarely notice it happening. The key to their approach is patience. Unlike manipulators who act quickly, these individuals take their time, slowly weaving themselves into your life. They study you, learning how you think, what motivates you, and where your vulnerabilities lie. They position themselves as a guide, an advisor, someone who always seems to have the right words at the right time. And because their influence is built gradually, you never suspect that you're being led in a specific direction. By the time their real intentions become clear, it feels less like a betrayal and more like an inevitable outcome. Their actions seem justified, even logical, because they've been shaping the path long before you ever realized there was a game being played. And when they finally make their move, whether to shift circumstances in their favor, turn people against you, or place you in a situation where you have no control, you find yourself in a position where escaping unscathed is nearly impossible. Recognizing these people isn't always easy because their tactics don't look like manipulation. Their patience makes them appear sincere. Their calculated moves resemble acts of kindness, and their ability to wait makes them seem trustworthy. But genuine support doesn't come with hidden motives. True allies don't carefully construct paths to influence you. They walk beside you without needing control. To protect yourself, pay attention to the patterns. If someone seems overly invested in your decisions, persistently involved in your future, or unusually patient when it comes to getting close to you, ask yourself why. Trust is valuable, but blind trust is dangerous. The most effective manipulation doesn't come through force. It comes through time, strategy, and a slow, quiet takeover that you never see coming. If these signs seem familiar, you may be facing more than just dislike. You could be in real danger. True threats aren't always obvious. They work in silence, waiting for the right moment. Ignoring the signs isn't just risky, it could cost you. Trust your instincts. Stay aware, act early, and protect yourself before it's too late. If this video helped, like and subscribe for more on staying safe and in control. Share it with someone who needs to hear this, and drop a comment if you've ever dealt with a situation like this. Stay sharp, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.